During the 1980s, I was a pastor in Fremont, California, and I had the occasion to meet and learn from the Reverend Earl Palmer, who was pastor of the First Presbyterian Church of Berkeley. Took a couple of classes from him in informal settings, and I'd been a reader of Earl's books. He wrote 20 in the course of his ministry. 20 books is pretty impressive, especially if you're holding down a day job as a working pastor. And of course, the question came up in one of the classes, how do you write so many books? Where do you get this material? And let me say, Earl's books were good. They were a great resource for any preacher, especially expositional preachers. And they were intellectual, they were clear, they were compelling, they were interesting. And there were about 150, 200 pages. And Earl's answer was very informative to me. He said, I work hard on my sermons, I study, I read a lot of material, I take a lot of notes, I do a lot of writes and rewrites. And of course, this is my words and my paraphrase after many, many years. But he said, obviously, I can't use all the material I write and collect, and I can't use all the notes that I make, but I come up with a finished product of a sermon. And then he said, I gather up all the material that I didn't use in the sermon and I put it in the book. Because Earl Palmer preached through books of the Bible, he was able to write books based on his studies, expositional books, books that would help other preachers preach and other teachers teach. And so there's a hint for you. I don't know what you're going to do for it, but don't throw away the crumbs. You know, a lady came to Jesus one day and he said, well, I was sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, and it's not right to take the children's bread and give it to the dogs. And she chuckled, I think, and I think he chuckled. And she said, yeah, but at least the dogs get to eat the crumbs on the floor. Well, with Earl Palmer, I guess I was one of the dogs because I was eating the crumbs and the church got the best. Well, if you're a working pastor, that's a lesson for you, by the way. Make sure that the best stuff goes in your sermons, but don't think that the crumbs aren't good food. The rest of us are hungry, and we'll take what you can give us. So collect that stuff and write some articles, write some blogs, write some books. And there's always somebody who wants more than what you give them in that one sermon. They want to go a little deeper. And so here's a way to get that material. You'll never run out of material to write about if you're a preacher. That's the truth. See you next time.